everybody, and welcome to Blue Jays Today, where we always have something to say about the Toronto Blue Jays. I am your host, Adam Peddle.
And I'm your host, Nicholas Playlog, and we have some big Blue Jays trade updates in this video. We got a tweet potentially leaking what the Toronto Blue Jays are doing. We have some updates on what that would cost them. We got so much stuff to talk about in this video, even a potential trade proposal that we think might go down in the next few weeks. Before we get into all that though, please make sure to like, subscribe, and also comment down below how this offseason's been going and what sort of trades you want to see the Toronto Blue Jays make. Alright, bro, so tons of stuff that we gotta divulge, break down. Let's just get absolutely straight into it. Well, the reason we're even having this conversation in the first place is the big news that Sean Murphy, he got traded today, guys.
Yeah.
And it was a haul.
Dude, I haven't looked at the exact details, but apparently a lot of insiders are saying that the guys that Oakland are getting are good guys. They get a catcher back, they get a left-handed pitcher, utility guy, right-handed pitcher, right-handed pitcher. They got an absolute haul. This was absolutely incredible for a guy, Sean Murphy, who some could argue, you can make some comparisons to Danny Jansen. I think Murphy's a little bit more proven in terms of the bat and the defense. But hey, look, if that's the price on the trade market for a catcher, man, I think the Blue Jays are in some good business. And I know that there's some news popping out that the Blue Jays now are the #1 team right now to be getting trading a catcher, because we also had Christian Vasquez go off the board. So we're next if you want a catcher, boys and girls.
Yeah, you know, Sean Murphy's gone now, and Christian Vasquez, like literally 2 minutes prior to us hitting record, he goes to the Twins. There are still other teams interested in potentially getting a catcher. Pittsburgh Pirates, they could be one of them. Miami Marlins, they could be another one. Houston Astros, they've shown interest. The Guardians have shown interest. So there are still other squads out there, maybe even the Diamondbacks, that are all looking to get that catcher and lock him in for time. That brings us to the next big rumor that the Toronto Blue Jays are in on. Now, this is a tweet coming here from MLB Scoops. The hashtag Blue Jays are now shifting their focus on the trade market as they seek to trade one of their catchers in a headliner for more starting pitching help, like hashtag Marlins Pablo Lopez, or Pirates center fielder Bryan Reynolds.
And before we go any further, I know a lot of you might be thinking, MLB Scoops? We can't trust MLB Scoops. Well, today, as we're recording this video, Chris Bassitt was signed, and MLB Scoops came out about an hour and a half before saying that the Blue Jays were interested in former Mets starting pitcher Chris Bassitt. Deal may be imminent. So take that as you will, folks. That feels like this MLB Scoops account has some MLB Scoops.
Exactly. I don't want to say for sure that like they know what exactly they're talking about, but just a little bit of credibility for calling that one out first. So, okay, a few takeaways there. First one, what are your thoughts that we could potentially be in a trade for more starting pitching help?
See, I know we talked about it a little bit on our Chris Bassitt breakdown. If you guys were live, you guys saw that. But I mean, it makes sense. Look, if the trade's there, I said it before, if the trade's there, if you can get someone like a Pablo Lopez, then you have to get someone like Pablo Lopez. You cannot just be giving that up. Like, I know we're all like, oh, maybe Kikuchi or maybe Tiedemann, but like 2 years of Pablo Lopez? Hell yeah. If it's for someone maybe as an add-on, let's say you're doing like a Bryan Reynolds type of deal, and maybe the package is we're offering a lot, maybe you want to sweeten it a little bit, give me like one of your Brubaker or one of your pitchers, then that also makes sense because they can also be in competitive for that fifth role.
As far as I'm concerned, I get it. I understand it. It makes sense. But I'm also a little bit skeptical because of guys like Ricky Tiedemann chilling in the minors, ready to go. Because, you know, we want to have that spot at the end of the rotation where you can kind of cycle through, try out guys. I think that if we do make a big trade for a starting pitcher, I wouldn't be shocked to actually see Ricky Tiedemann go in the other direction.
Right, exactly.
Because if you're bringing in a Pablo Lopez, it's like, where is Ricky Tiedemann's spot on this team?
Exactly.
You know? So I wouldn't be shocked if that happens. I also wouldn't be shocked to see a Ricky Tiedemann go in a deal for a guy like Bryan Reynolds. Here is an article right here. This is from Fan Nation, and it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I mean, Ken Rosenthal reports that it's going to be a Juan Soto type of package that the Pirates are looking for Bryan Reynolds. And if y'all remember that Juan Soto package, you had 3 former number 1 overall prospects and some current MLB players. So if that's the deal it's going to take, now I don't think it's going to be that big. No one's going to give the Pirates that kind of deal. But the reason why they're asking so much is because they don't even want to trade him in the first place.
Yeah.
They straight up don't want to do that. It's just Bryan Reynolds. This is what sparked the whole rumors.
That's true.
Bryan Reynolds coming out.
Yeah.
The Pirates don't want that. So look, if you just like in fantasy, if someone wants my guy, you're gonna have to give me a ridiculous offer I can't refuse.
Exactly, right? So I do understand where the Pirates are coming from here, because once again, folks, this was all sparked by Bryan Reynolds. All these rumors, that's just because he wants to get traded. It's possible that he doesn't get what he wants. But if the Toronto Blue Jays start barking at their doorstep with some of their big catchers, considering we're the only team right now that really has any catchers of value left, then the Pirates might start to consider it. Do you think that there's any realm of possibility where MLB Scoops is onto something again here, and that we might be calling the Pittsburgh Pirates by Bryan Reynolds?
I think for sure. I mean, I think most teams that would want a Bryan Reynolds are going to be calling the Pirates, but Bryan Reynolds. Like, how could you not shoot your shot, right? But, like, look, I think that we're going to call and check in, like, hey, what is your price range? And I think that in this article, if you read a little bit further, they talk about a potential price range. It's going to involve Ricky Tiedemann, like we discussed.
Yeah.
That's an automatic. And it's going to involve or Elvis Martinez.
Yes.
And then, honestly, it could be someone like our Gabriel Moreno or like a Danny Chance or one of our catchers, Alejandro Kirk. That's the kind of package that you're looking at, I think, at least for Bryan Reynolds. Are you willing... We'll talk about a certain trade rumor or trade scenario soon, but are you willing to trade off the 2 top prospects and a catcher?
I mean, it's tough. It's tough because, like, if we go over to Bryan Reynolds' numbers, guys, like, obviously they're phenomenal. We've shown them before, but we'll show them again just to remind you guys. Like, he is a stud. Even coming off of a down year, he was still phenomenal. It's tough to say, though, right? Because we did just go out and sign Kevin Kiermaier. Bryan Reynolds is a massive step up over Kevin Kiermaier, but why did we go sign him if we're also going to get Bryan Reynolds?
Right. Well, as a depth play. He's a depth play.
For sure. Yeah. For sure. And I do get that. It is also just, it's tough to come to terms with the fact that it's like, we're all in now. Like, if we go out and we trade for Bryan Reynolds, like, guys, if we don't win the World Series in the next 2 or 3 years... things could look really bad in Toronto.
Yeah, because because exactly that's the big warning sign that I put on this Bryan Reynolds trade. It's going to cost you your future. Most of your future for the next few years. So he better be elite, and you better trust that pitching because. Look, for the last few years, we've been trying to upgrade our pitching via trade and free agency. If you trade all these prospects, you're basically saying, this is it, guys. Well, this is my team.
Well, do you think, though, that the Bassett signing, the fact that we went out, that we got him, we locked him in for 3 years, do you think that that's actually a little bit more of, I don't want to say ammunition, but makes the management feel better about going all in on a bat because they're shoring up the pitching?
Well, I certainly don't want to go all in on a bat and then have nothing left to reserve for those bullets, those prospect bullets for pitching. Because we've seen it time and time again. When we think we've got enough pitching, we need more pitching. Every year, every team, the Dodgers need more pitching. The Astros need more pitching. The Yankees, we think their rotation's good. They need more pitching. It's every single year.
It will happen eventually where an injury will go down or a performance, like somebody's going to do badly next year that we don't expect, right? I totally get where you're coming from there. And in that regard, I want to hold on to those bullets. But at the same point, like... if we trade for Bryan Reynolds, I will obviously be over the moon, guys. He is a phenomenal player, and he will make this team better. This is a potential trade scenario, something that Adam and I put together with the help of that article and knowing kind of like where the Pirates are at, where we're at. This is a trade proposal, a trade scenario that we think might get it done according to Baseball Trade Simulator. Folks, you let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. What is your takeaway from this trade? We're giving up Jansen, we're giving up Martinez, we're giving up Tiedemann. Those are our top 2 prospects and one of our starting catchers. We get 3 years of Bryan Reynolds.
Yeah, like again, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but I made a video room on Ricky Tiedemann. He's an elite that's the big piece of me. Jansen can go, Martinez can go, no problem.
Right.
But it's that pitching depth. That guy, it does hurt. You got to trust that the moves of Bassett make sense, but I don't know. I still feel uncomfortable. I'm obviously going to go with what the management thinks is best for the team, always. I've been like that through the entire process with them. But I'm going to just hold off and just take the loss on the batters and hope that Tiedemann hits because I need that pitching depth.
I'm really split on that trade. Like, I'm really 50-50.
And that's why it's a good trade.
Exactly. That's why actually it does kind of make sense, because like part of me is like, you know what? Let's do it. Let's buy in. Like, I don't know if Ricky Tiedeman's going to translate to the MLB. I don't know. Nobody knows, right? I do know that Bryan Reynolds will be elite. Now, I think if there's any way that we can leverage the fact that, hey, we're the only team with catchers right now. If you want to get a nice young catcher, you got to go through us. If there's any way to leverage that.
If we know that they want our catchers.
Exactly. And take off Tiedemann and throw on somebody else. Or instead of that package, maybe it's centered around Gabriel Moreno. And, it's Gabriel Moreno and Orelvis Martinez. And it's like, boom, that's the package, right? That's, I think, a little bit more, like, appetizing to me rather than giving away the starting pitcher.
Yeah, because, look, if we're going all in, it's like now you're really hoping that top four with Barrios, Bassett, Manoah, and Gosman, that's rock solid, and no one faults. Like, no one does a bad year, no one gets injured. You need to have them stay healthy, because if they don't, then you're kind of screwed.
I agree. Folks, there's obviously a lot of updates going on in the MLB right now. Catchers are flying off the board, so do not be shocked to hear a lot of Toronto Blue Jays news and rumors and updates going down in the next few weeks. Let us know your thoughts on this trade proposal, your thoughts on potentially us being in on Lopez and Reynolds, all of that stuff in the comments down below.
And guys, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe onto this YouTube channel. And guys, $3 a month to become a Patreon member. Shout out and thank you to all of our current Patreon members. Let us know, guys, if you want to come on to our Wine on Wine Fridays. We'll have you call in.
Thank you so much for watching.
And go Jays, go!